According to the Guinness World Book of Records, the oldest budgie ever lived, his name was Charlie, and he reached the age of 29 years. The average lifespan of wild budgies is only about 5 years. While captive birds, our pet budgies, average between 5 to 10 years, but there are also pet budgies that have been reported to live for 15 to 20 years in captivity. So would you like to have budgies that live among the lower average range of about 8 years? Or would you rather try and give your budgie the best life you can ever give and let your bird live 15, 16 or even 20 years? Or maybe you would be one of the best owners and one of the luckiest to actually break a new world record with maybe 30 years old budgie or even more. Here are 10 tips you can do so your budgie won't only live a long life, but also a very happy and healthy life. Before we continue, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification icon on so you won't miss any news or tips for your budgies. And let us know in the comment section below, how old is your budgie? Tip number 1. Clean. While it might be obvious to some, but cleaning is more important than you think. It is not only so your budgie won't live a dirty, filthy life, but it actually makes his life healthier by preventing mites and other parasites invading your budgies. You should clean your cage on a regular basis. Of course, how often you should clean the cage depends on a lot of factors, like how many budgies you have, and how big of a cage you have, how much of a mess your budgies make, and so on. Of course, if you are cleaning your bird's cage next to them, avoid any chemicals that aren't approved by your vet that can be very toxic to them. Usually, vinegar is the way to go. Tip number 2. Bath. While your budgies could live without a bath their whole life, but there are a lot of benefits come with bathing, from taking care of their feathers to cleaning themselves. And of course, the whole party of swimming is just a great activity your budgies would enjoy. Just like you take your kids to a pool. Although you should not force your budgies into a bath, but there are a lot of different ways you can give them a bath. From spraying to just giving them some washed greeny leaves, and they would wipe themselves as they do in the wild. Tip number 3. Sleep. A good night's sleep is very healthy to your budgies. While you might have heard a 10 to 12 hours of sleep your budgies need, but if they didn't get it, they might try to sleep here and there during the day. But an uninterrupted sleep is the best. To make sure your birds get their recommended 8 to 12 hours of sleep each day, cover your cage with a light cloth around the same time every night and remove it in the morning so they get used to their sleeping time. You don't need to totally cover the cage. In fact, some birds will panic if left in total darkness. So see what works best for your birds. Especially if your cage is somewhere between your bedroom and the bathroom or kitchen. You might unintentionally interrupt their sleep by turning the light on along the way to the bathroom or kitchen. So if that is your case, try to find a place in your house where their sleep won't get interrupted. Tip number 4. Sun. The sun plays a very important role in your budgie's health, from preventing depression to enabling them to synthesize vitamin D. And unlike us, budgies can actually see the ultraviolet light, or in short UV light, and they can show their beauty off to other parakeets by reflecting their cheek patches, something we don't see, but they do. For whatever reason it might be, if you cannot give them some sun time, if it is the weather or predators you have in your area, There are light bulbs specially made for birds. You can get one of these yourself as an alternative for the sun. Tip number 5. Water. Water is essential for our lives, as you already know. So keeping your parakeets drinking water clean and available is one of the most important things, if not the most important thing you should do. That's why I only give my budgies water bottles, so they don't get dirty easily, from pooping into them to seeds remnants floating in the water and contaminating it. And you should replace it frequently, so you don't make it a home for viruses or bacteria spreading diseases among your budgie flock. Don't forget, water can be useful in many forms, not only as their drinking water, but for bath and washing their veggies, so it makes them more appealing for your budgies. While we are talking about veggies, tip number 6. Diet. Don't keep your budgies on a seed diet. You should offer them greens and fruits. A diverse diet is very important for their health. Don't forget to offer them various vegetables to keep them healthy, whilst avoiding toxic ones. Tip number 7. Foraging. Let them find their food, while not making it impossible. But making them go and chew on stuff and moving small things to find the food is very healthy and stimulating. You can start with a very simple way by spreading seeds on a floor that is not easy to find. Then try and put their seed in places where they climb and move to find it. A simple change of their food place is actually more stimulating than knowing where their food is every day, all the time. Tip number 8. Social. Budgerigars are very social birds. They live in flocks of hundreds. Keeping them stimulated with you or their kind is very important. It does not only prevent loneliness, but it also prevents depression. Leaving a lonely bird with no one to interact with is just psychological torture. Tip number 9. Toys. Toys are very important because they provide your budgies something to get them stimulated. No matter what you do, they still are captive birds. In the wild, they go for miles and miles to find new interesting stuff. But no matter how big your cage is, it is still something they can explore in a matter of minutes. So providing them with different types of toys, branches, and even adding or replacing toys is something very healthy and beneficial to your budgies. Toys is one of the most affordable and easiest ways to keep your birds stimulated. And finally, tip number 10. Exercise. While all the foraging and toys we have talked about are very good exercises for your birds, but nothing can top what your birds are born to do: fly. These little cages you buy are good to give your bird a secured home, and maybe some perches for your birds to climb or jump from one perch to another. But nothing's like flying. Flying isn't only the best exercise, but it also keeps their wings muscles healthy and strong. Exercise prevents a weakened immune system that has lower resistance to infections. If you don't have a big aviary where they can fly, maybe you should consider giving your birds an out-of-the-cage flight time. Of course, you have to bird-proof your house first, and watch them do what they do best, or what you wish you could do: flying. Each one of these 10 tips in this video have more in-depth video about that specific topic. Some videos I have already uploaded and some other tips I will upload soon. So keep checking in the description. If there is any tip you need more information about, has a link. And if not, You can ask me when is the video will be uploaded, or checking back regularly will help you see when the video is up about that specific topic you are looking for. For more about budgies, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are watching this video from YouTube and hit the bell icon to get notified when the next video is up. Or like the Facebook page if you are watching this video from Facebook.